Tuesday, the 7th of January, 2020, to order. This is a business meeting and not a court of law. Welcome each of you here tonight. Anyone wanting to comment has 3 minutes in the first session and 3 minutes in the second session. Come to the podium, give your name, address, and phone number. Citizen comments. Board members do not have to comment during comment session unless they want to. Board members, raise your hands to be recognized. This will eliminate interruptions. No talking during the meeting. If you want to talk while the meeting is going on, you must go outside or to the hallway. Others want to be able to hear. You can be asked to leave if you're out of order. Once the business session starts, you will not be able to interrupt. You will need to wait until second session. If you have a request for information, you must come to the office at City Hall during office hours, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, and fill out the proper papers. Sharon.
Alderwoman Key.
Here.
Alderman Rawls.
Here.
Vice Mayor Harrington.
Here.
Alderman Ward.
Here.
Alderman Boland.
Here.
Okay. And the next thing on the agenda is a prayer by Alderman Richard Boland, and immediately following, pledge allegiance to the flag.
Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you so much for this day that you've given to us to enjoy, and Lord, enjoy it we have. And we thank you so much for it. Again, Lord, we ask you now to be with us tonight as this meeting goes on, that everything done here tonight is for the benefit of the citizens and the benefit of you. And thank you for everything you do for us. And these things we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
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 Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We intended to have discussion and action on Dave Wilson, our engineer with Madden and Craig, but he called in sick. So we'll go down to citizens' comments, the first session. If you want to make a comment, come to the podium and give your name, address, and phone number. Okay, if we have no comments, we'll move on to discussion and action, the regular meeting minutes of December the 3rd, 2019. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay. Take a vote, please.
Alderwoman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Rawls.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington.
Yes.
Alderman Ward.
Yes.
Alderman Boland.
Here. Yes, I think.
Okay, we'll move to report from City Attorney J. Paul Fry.
At the last meeting, you all had asked me to do some research on alcohol sales.
Yes.
And I've completed that research. The first question is, what would we have to do to have on premises beer permits to be able to sell beer by the drink? We'd have to amend our city code to allow on premises. The application process would be the same for off premises. And in my research, I found that the state has changed the definition of beer, and we need to change our definition of beer as well. And second question was, well, what do we have to do to allow liquor stores in Bluff City? There would have to be a petition by the citizens, the registered voters, and it would have to be signed by 10% of the voters who voted in the last gubernatorial election, and that number would be 56 because there's 557 people who voted from the city in the last gubernatorial election. Next question was liquor by the drink. Well, what would we have to do there? You could do it by the same process, or in the alternative, 2/3 of the board members could, by two-third vote, you could pass a resolution to ask Election Commission to put it on the ballot. And both the latter, liquor stores and liquor by the drink, would have to be voted in by the voters of Bluff City. And if you would want me to move forward, I can move forward with amending our beer ordinance and also do a resolution which would require 4 board members to vote in the affirmative to pass, to petition the election commission to put liquor by the drink on the ballot, and I could draw up a form petition on the liquor stores to be circulated among the registered voters. If you'd like me to do that, just let me know. We can get started on it. Okay.
You said you changed it to where it'd be 4 of us that would have to.
No, you wouldn't change it. That's just what the law requires.
Oh, okay.
It would, to pass that resolution, it would require 4, on the liquor by the drink.
Okay, I thought you said there once it was 3.
To put it on the ballot.
Put it on the ballot.
Mm-hmm. The statute requires 2/3 vote of the governmental body.
Yeah, 2/3 would be 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sleep deprived. I'm sorry. I was thinking 3. I had Earnhardt in my head, I guess. I don't know.
Would you all want me to move forward with these initiatives?
Request to be recognized, Mayor.
Yes.
I am definitely on board with the beer permit modifications. I will think, though, that, and I don't know what my fellow board members feel on this, this is, in lack of a better way to say it, a lot easier than I thought it would be. And I'm of the mind that, not from a perspective of drinking liquor, but from a perspective of business, that we should move forward on both.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't require anything at this point. I'll just move forward with the initiatives, the resolution, the petition, and the amendment of the beer ordinance.
And that gets the beer and the liquor going. Is that what we're saying?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. All of the above.
That's my report.
We'll move down to citizen comments from the board members. Alderwoman Carol Keith.
We got to do the recorder.
Oh,
Yeah. The
report from the city.
manager.
City manager.
City manager.
No, I don't have a report. Report from the city recorder, Sharon Green.
Fund balance as of November the 30th, 2019. General fund, $1,554,000. Sanitation fund, $31,404. Police, the special police fund, $12,437. Debt service fund, $104,100. Sinking fund, $3,095. Water sewer fund, $641,920. Total fund balance, $2,346,956.
Do we have a motion to approve the financial
I'll make a
report?
motion to approve financial report.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Take a vote, please.
Alderwoman Key,
Yes.
Alderman Wool,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Alderman Bowles.
Yes.
And we'll have comments from the board members. Alderwoman Carol Keith.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see everybody. I just want you all to know that I will continue to stand up, speak and speak out for what's right. I will stand with the citizens as well as the employees as long as it's right. And if you guys need me for anything, I'm just a phone call away. And also, I'd like to thank the carolers. We had carolers today. Not today, but during Christmas holiday. We went out caroling, and there was a lot of children with us, and we really had a blessed time. So, Bluff City, hang in there. We get there. God bless you.
Alderman Jeff Broyles.
Good evening, town family. Happy New Year, by the way. I tell you, this is going to be the best year of Bluff City song in a long, long time. You know, we're stepping forward now. We really are, and I'm excited to be part of this and you and the new businesses that are coming into town. Got a big one getting ready to open down the road here. It's really going to be great for our town. And I'd like to just take a second to explain to you my position on beer and liquor. Bluff City needs the business. It's your choice whether you drink. Many of us prefer not to. But Bristol, Kingsport, and Johnson City are enjoying our citizens to drive there every day. Why can't we enjoy the same? The 19E and 11E are strictly undeveloped. We don't have to have it where we don't want to have it, but we do need to be able to do that business. I know many of you take your families, like I do, pretty much every Friday night to a restaurant in another town. I'd like to do that here. And next thing I'm proud to announce, and I can't, for proprietary reasons, speak on it in great detail, is that I've had a veterans organization that you would know if I said the word, that has come in and reached out to me and asked to assist us with this Veterans Memorial Project. And they've been down that road before, so they can help us a lot. I don't know if that's going to be financial. It may be, and that would be great. If not, we'll figure it out. It'll be okay. So there's two wonderful, exciting steps that we've made. Again, I enjoy serving you, and I hope that you'll reach out to me anytime that I may be of assistance to you or your family. God bless you.
Vice Mayor Ray Hamilton.
I appreciate everyone coming out. Got more people here this new year. Hope it will continue. Like Jeff says, we're moving forward, and we'll continue to do so. And just hope we stay on the right path. Thank you.
Alderman Eric.
Glad to see everybody come out. Hope everybody had a good Christmas and a good New Year. I know I blew my resolution day 2, so I don't know about the rest of you. Hope to continue seeing everybody throughout the year. Thank you.
Okay, Alderman Richard Bowling.
Yeah, I'm glad to see everybody here tonight, and I appreciate everybody coming. We got a few seats left over, and I hope the next meeting is full. Anyway, I hope everybody had a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas, and like I say, continue to come out. Thank you.
We'll have reports from the city officials and county commissioners. Chief Greg DePew.
Mayor and Board. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. For the month of December, we had a total of 150 calls. We issued 138 citations, 22 warnings, patrolled 6,669 miles, had 17 arrests, 9 offense reports, 6 accidents, ended up having 4 domestic calls we answered and had 4 drug arrests. Everything's going well and looking forward to a good year and excited about things. I think the city is doing well moving forward, and I'm very pleased with all the guys and our lady at the police department, so we're excited about everything. So.
Had any word on the car out here that got...
Yeah, the mayor probably can, that. We're fortunate no one was hurt. There was a part in the car that malfunctioned and broke in the steering, and it hit a tree, but no one was hurt, and the insurance company's been in touch with us, so everything's going to work out, it seems, there. So we're fortunate no one was hurt, no other property was damaged, so very, very lucky.
Last.
Means the cameras are going down. What's your kind of solution that you're going to work out to compensate for that?
Well, right now we're just going to keep working hard. We don't know exactly what'll be or what will be. We can speculate. I know before the cameras there was a lot of traffic and there were a lot of wrecks there. We were out there working pretty aggressive. I'm assuming we'll have more traffic. I'm assuming it'll be busy. But right now we're just going to monitor it and see where we're at and see where we're headed and take steps as we go, what we need to do.
Now, they'll be cut off when? Tonight? Tomorrow?
I think tomorrow. But I think that's our plans moving forward. Right now it's just an uncertainty of what we will have. We could, I hope it's, we can handle it and it's, not a lot of wrecks or anything like that, but if we go into it and see there's an issue or problem, I'm sure we'll address it and do what we need to do to correct it. But we will be out there working hard and doing our jobs to try our best to keep people safe. So,
Especially if you keep up the 138 a month
Yeah.
citations.
yeah.
Because that's not typical December, is it?
No, it's not. And but everybody's working hard. The officers are really.
How many tickets you average writing a month? Just during the holiday, say it's November on this month.
Usually in the winter months through November and December, January is probably our slowest month. I can't explain why, but it's been that way forever, and I've been here since '03. But in your spring, going into your summer, it really picks up. So we usually would average in December, I think, like brought your attention, anywhere from 40 to maybe 50, and now we're up to 138.
Yep.
And last month was very high. It was up. We've had to look at making some changes in our courts and stuff too because the dockets were getting so full. Driving schools picked up, so there's things like that. A week ago, we had 16 already registered for driving school, so I'm thinking we're going to have 20 to 25 students in driving school. We've been averaging 8 to 10, so that's going to pick up too. So you're not losing traffic out there. Traffic, I think, is picked up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't think none of that's went away, so we should stay busy. But any more questions? Or
Doing a great job.
well, thank you. I appreciate it, and thanks a lot.
Public Works Supervisor Alan Morton.
Good evening, Mayor Board. How are you all? Happy New Year's, if I haven't spoke to you yet. In the sewer department's going very smoothly. We ended the year fairly well. We didn't have any overflows in these last couple rain events. As in what we've been doing around town, we've basically been going around manhole to manhole, beyond the issues that we currently know we have. In the last couple weeks, we've basically kind of rounded up a few more issues that's outside of the work that we've actually planned thus far. We plan on continue to go manhole to manhole. One thing I would say is, as in regards to the sewer department, when it comes down to trying to find some of these issues, when we spoke with the State Department, they entertained the thought of us getting flow monitors. We really do need flow monitoring so we can actually narrow down the actual areas that we're seeing the most flow. So that's one thing that I think we may need to look into. I don't know if we can speak to Dave about getting flow monitoring devices placed in, but we do need to monitor where we're getting the most increased flow so we're not on a witch hunt trying to find where our problem areas at. But overall, I mean, beyond that, we have seen improvements. One thing that I will say is we do need to stress to the public that we have to stop flushing these wipes, paper towels. That stuff, it doesn't grind up very well, to be quite frank. And, I mean, we're seeing whole rolls of baby wipes or whatnot, and it's becoming a nuisance for us. But beyond that, and that's what we're kind of seeing as what's causing any of our drainage flowing slowly or anything like that. We just kind of need to get a handle on the flushing of wet wipes or whatnot. But beyond that, everything is going smoothly. All the pump stations are operating. The guys, everybody's upbeat. Everybody's getting the work done. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And like I said earlier, beyond the issues that we currently know that we have, we are going to have some issues that we're going to be presented with in the next couple of weeks or whatnot that we are going to have to figure out how we're going to get these issues repaired. So that's one thing we do have to look forward to in 2020. But beyond that, everything else is going pretty smoothly. As in the street department, we haven't had the pleasure to have to plow snow yet, but that day is coming one day. But until then, if you do live on a street where you have to park near the roadways or whatnot, if you can allow us to get ample enough room to use our snow plows, we don't want to damage any vehicles or anything like that, that will be greatly appreciated. Other than that, everything's been going pretty good. If you all have any questions, I'll feel free to address.
How many flow meters would you actually have to have, Alan?
I would say somewhere between 4 and 5, we basically need to get them in like our main arteries, like where we're getting the most, like where we got the most amount of customers, to see where we get what direction or what area, so we can start isolating areas to try to figure out exactly where we're getting the most flow. Because like right now, it's just been a guessing game trying to figure out, oh, we may have an issue over here, or this area is the oldest, or stuff like that. We kind of need to get more concrete information on where this flow is coming from, because like right now it's just a wild goose chase. We're basically trying to find where our issues is, and like the best time to find these issues is during these actual rain events where you're getting it all in. But if it's dry, I mean, it's you ain't gonna see nothing. I mean, because we don't have any issues during the time when it's no rain or anything like that. It's just whenever we get in these large rain events that we're seeing the most of our issues. So we still remain to have an I&I issue. I will say it's greatly improved. We've seen improvement. It's been slow, but it has been steady improvement. So I will give us kudos for that, but we still have work to do. So I will end it on that note.
Have you looked at any more? There was one area where you said that there was a lot of rainwater coming in the sewer line.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all looked into it any more?
Well, one thing I will say, we still have a bunch of old brick-made manholes. I've actually been out taking videos lately, so I got video to actually show you what these manholes been doing in these rain events, and it's not looking good. So, I mean, if we can either get some of these, precast manholes, yeah, you just basically drop them in. We need to look into doing some of these things in-house. I don't think we always need to get the engineer and everything involved with that. I mean, I know we got to get everything planned out or whatnot, but there's ways to get some of these issues resolved without incurring extensive expense through contractors and such. So.
Sounds like that's something that we all maybe need to, like, as I said before, have a workshop, sit down.
Well, what I'm currently doing, we're currently compiling a list of areas, and I will present that to you all, and we can try to figure out exactly what areas we need to attack and what approach we need to go forward with.
Right, but those monitors are something that really you need. I mean, it would save you time.
It would save time because, you would actually know exactly what area you're getting. Like he's saying, we're getting 70% flow from this direction, and this one you'll be able to narrow that down to okay, we got 10% coming from here, 40% coming from here, and it'll at least narrow it down to whereas we're not constantly hunting where our issues are, because where we're seeing our issues, these are the things that are unseen. You don't see what's going on in the sewer system until it overflows at the manhole down there. So,
well, instead of sitting on it, is that something that we can do immediately?
About the
monitors?
We'll have to get a price on them first.
Yeah, we would have to get a price quote on them, but it's something that I believe in. I mean, we spoke about it earlier. I think it would be a good investment for the town. That way we're able to actually find out exactly where our issues are originating at.
Alan, could you just make a slight report on the water since Tina's not here tonight, but she's working on the water.
All right. As in the water plant's operating on its own currently. We last time I checked, we had a total of 41 feet in the tank. We are putting out, I want to say it's like 220 gallons per minute. We are at the point where we do need the backwash right now, and once that backwash takes place, we should increase flow to about 260 gallons per minute. During the month of December, we only was down once, 1 week. It wasn't a whole week. It was a total of 3 days. Got the plant up. Everything was running, and that was due to a rain event that we had that the raw turbidity did spike. And other than that, water plant's been operating good. Chemicals been arriving on time. Haven't had any issues. But beyond that, I got to knock on wood because things can change at a moment's notice around here. But overall, I would say the plan is operating in a satisfactory manner. I personally think there's still a lot of upgrades that needs to be done, in which most of that will be addressed in the upcoming Phase 3 project. But until that gets to going, we're looking pretty good.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you for explaining. A lot of people didn't know.
Are y'all still working on a letter to send out to the citizens about the flushable wipes?
Yes, I was hoping to have some information from the state from that meeting.
Okay, good.
But it looks like it's probably won't be until
Okay.
some week.
We need to get that out there, Tony.
Yeah. We'll move on to Sullivan County Commissioners. Dwight King. Oh, Herschel Glover.
Mr. King couldn't be here tonight, Mayor. He's out of town. But I did bring a good replacement for him tonight. And I'll introduce him to you there just in a minute.
Happy New Year's.
Thanks, good.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to all the citizens. Bluff City. First of all, I'd like to talk to you about the liquor by the drink that you guys were discussing there a minute ago. I had a discussion with the mayor today, Mayor Venable. And Thursday night of this week, I'm going to introduce a resolution to add liquor by the drink to all rural Sullivan County. And the way that will work, when I turn in the resolution this Thursday at the workshop, we'll be working on that and working out some of the bugs with that to put it on a referendum vote for the rural parts of the county. So, Mr. Fry was giving you the information there. I've had a call in today with Jason Board, Election Commission Office, and if this passes the commission, it will be added on as a vote in hopefully August. I think it's 5 or 6 months we have to have this done before it can be added on to be voted on. So that's one of the things I'm waiting back to hear from him. If this passes the commission and moves on, it will be on a referendum for the rural part of the county. It will include beer, wine, and liquor by the drink. And the speculation that I'm going to put on that is for that money, the tax money that comes into our part of the county, be used to give raises to the teachers of the county. We're going to have to work together to get some relief to our property tax owners. And the property owners and the property taxes that they're paying, this is one way we can do that. It's going to help you guys tremendously here in Bluff City if this passes. And hopefully we'll get that worked out this Thursday and get it to vote on at the commission meeting the following Thursday. So hopefully I'd love to have you guys come and speak in favor of that at that workshop and also at the regular meeting. I know Mr. Broyles has been attending the meetings and love to see the rest of you guys there, because I think it would really put Bluff City back on the track, and it would also put other parts of the county back on the track. It's a great idea. I'm glad to see you guys interested in doing that. But I am thinking it has to be 6 months passed through the county commission before it could be added on to a referendum vote, and hopefully we can do that and get it on the August election. Second thing I'd like to talk to you about tonight is I'm a little bit sad today because our middle school's gone. And along with that middle school went quite a bit of money for you guys. And this other program that we're going to talk to you about tonight hopefully will add some hope to us. With the middle school leaving, there's no more Bluff City Grizzlies. There's no more Mary Hughes Lions. It's gone. Of course, that's a change of time, and that's the way it works. And in your packet, of course, I left you a calendar for the month. And if you'll notice on that calendar, we do not have any committee meetings anymore. Those were voted out last month. We were spending a lot of time over the same thing again and again. So if you have any questions about any resolutions or want to comment on that, please come to our workshop. It's going to be usually the second Thursday of the month. So we look forward to seeing you guys there at that. And what I'd like to talk to you about first, if you look in your packet, I put in your packet this is a facilities plan. It was done by the school board back in 2015. And it's page 7 if you look in there. This facilities plan was voted on by the school board and approved. And it also, at this point in time, can be voted on and changed. If you look at the top of your page, about the 4th line down where it says 2022, Mary Hughes Elementary School with 500 students, Bluff City Elementary School with 450 students, new building in 2022. Now what that means is our elementary school could be leaving Bluff City also. And I sure don't want that to happen. And I hope you guys don't either. I don't know where the new building would be located. That would be up to the school board, just like the process that they went through with the other facilities. It could be between Bluff City and Piney Flats. I've even heard it could be moved up behind the middle school. So we would be losing Mary Hughes Elementary and Bluff City Elementary up behind the middle school. So that's kind of what I want to talk to you about tonight is getting a business or some type of revenue for you guys in the middle school. We don't want that school sitting empty. We want to utilize it as soon as we can. The fellow that I invited to come here tonight with us and talk to you is Mr. Heath Gwynn, and he's from Kingsport. And he works with an entrepreneurship program across the state of Tennessee. And he goes all the way into other states and works with large businesses that does entrepreneurships with young folks, and it also does manufacturing with them. And I think we're in a very unique situation with the situation with the middle school, because just a few miles away we have the industrial park, which a lot of business in the industrial park are to the limit right now of space. So first of all, we'd like to touch base with those guys, tell them what we've got to offer, and see if some of those folks are interested. But Heath is also wanting to talk to you about a school in Alabama that was closed and was utilized for manufacturing, and that's something else that we could talk about. I think the most important thing that we need to do is keep Bluff City some revenue going from the middle school. I think you'd be much better off accepting revenue off of it instead of spending revenue on it. It's going to be a very expensive to keep it up. And at this time, I'd like for Mr. Gwynn to come up and speak to you guys about the program. This program that he's going to be talking to you about, we're also going to be voting on this resolution Thursday of next week, and it's a partnership with the state of Tennessee to provide grant money for these situations. And at this time, I'd like for him to come forward and speak to you guys.
Thank you, Commissioner Glover, and thank you for having me here tonight to talk to you about what we're doing with entrepreneurship in the region, specifically with what we're doing in Sullivan County. My name is Heath Gwynn. I am from Johnson City originally, but I've been in Kingsport for the last 20 years. I actually live in Colonial Heights. My business has operated in downtown Kingsport for the last 16 years, but I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18. I was one of those students who started college but realized that I didn't necessarily fit the employee mold of anything that I wanted to do, which left me in a position where I had two choices. One was leave the area and look for an opportunity in my degree in another place, or start a business and try to stay here. And I chose the second option. My background was in digital media, and we have a really good program at UTSU that focuses in that. And that was what I just chose to do, was stay in this area, try to recruit other people like me and build a business in Kingsport. I did that over many years and done quite well with the business, because we are developing a lot of great talent in a lot of technical fields and a lot of computer skills here. But as you all know, the region loses a lot of that talent just because of the opportunities that are not necessarily available here at the moment. Over the last couple of years, though, I realized that it wasn't just entrepreneurship in my own right that I wanted to do. I really wanted to focus on helping other people that were like me or that would be interested in doing something more as far as starting a job or starting a business. So because of some things that was going on with the timing in the region, the commission and leadership that Sullivan County is providing, I thought it was a good chance for me to take and go out and try to see what we could create with more opportunity from other partners that were not here, but that could benefit from what we have to offer here. So I started that approach by going to Nashville. Nashville has the state of Tennessee has an organization called Launch Tennessee, which is the entrepreneurship program for the state. In other words, that's where they push their money that comes out to entrepreneurship programs. They really have focused on the big four cities, Chattanooga, Memphis, Knoxville, and Nashville. In fact, over the last 6 years, we've not gotten any funding in Northeast Tennessee at all from this group, not for any other reason than that's just where the most success that they've seen. But we're in a unique time now where there's new leadership in Launch Tennessee. They're very focused on the rural with Governor Lee and what Governor Lee wants to see in a rural. We're in a really unique moment in time where there's emphasis on figuring out how entrepreneurship works in a rural area. So the program that I took to them really focused on two things. The first was I believe we could be a really great landing spot or starting spot for businesses who focus on things that we're trying to solve in our communities. Okay. That would be if there's a healthcare-related problem that we have in our area, we want to bring companies here or start companies that can solve that problem. If it's something that's related to education, we want to do the same. Help a company get started here, help a company move here to help improve our education or something in our education programs. ACEs is a big thing that we're focused on there, adverse childhood, and trying to create solutions for that. The second thing, though, is that what I truly believe is that we have a very unique offering in this part of the state, in that we have assets, we have background, we have knowledge that other parts of the state don't have, specifically in manufacturing, specifically in engineering, and what we're turning out from computer science technology programs in all of our universities and colleges is really second to none in the state. We're doing a really great job there, but we have to use that to keep our kids here. How do we retain that talent here? So it was a really exciting thing for the state to get involved with. They're very excited to be our partner here in Northeast Tennessee. In fact, they're so excited about what we're doing is that they're actually looking at us now to become the model for how rural entrepreneurship works in Tennessee. And I think that's the real opportunity we have here, as what we can do to help bring businesses, create businesses, and help our young kids get involved in opportunities that are related to entrepreneurship. We had a great conversation about the alternatives to four-year education. That's not just an option for our kids. That's a real trend in the country right now, is that people are bypassing four-year education to get directly involved in trade skills, manufacturing, because of two things. Number one, there's a real demand for it. Those skills are really, really high-paying. The barrier to entry is in a good place for people to get directly involved and make a good living. The second thing is that there's trade school and trade skills now are very technology-based. One of the facilities we opened in Kingsport was a makerspace called the Inventor Center, and where we had a partnership with the city and we invested in equipment and technology to allow people to design and develop a product. And so what they do is they learn software, CAD, other programs, and they use 3D printings to start prototyping these ideas. The concept being that students can get involved from a high school level or from a young entrepreneur or a young professional level, come in, design a product, print it right there, and have access to some of our manufacturing companies to be able to take that to market. So with the way the internet works and the way the marketplace works, there is no reason why we can't do that. You don't need to be in Nashville. You don't need to be in California to do that. We are right in position to do that. And with the other benefits that we have as far as cost of living and things, it's a good time for us to really show what we can produce on that front. Another thing that I wanted to share, and Herschel really brought the idea to the table, was how do we take facilities that exist in Bluff City and convert that, or consider what that might look like if those facilities were made available to people who were either in school or were starting new businesses, or to our other industrial partners for co-working or collab space. And a good example that we used for this was in Huntsville, Alabama. There's an entrepreneur who actually did quite well. He came back and bought a middle school, and he converted it from West Huntsville Elementary into what's called Huntsville West. And they took an existing facility, much like the middle school here and much like middle schools across the country that are transitioning, and they converted it into a co-working space. And I actually own a co-working space in Kingsport, but basically what it is, it's you provide office space or facilities or lab space to companies that pay a reduced rate or to free up space that they're currently using for other needs that they could make into larger manufacturing space. You provide that to them at a low cost, provide high internet, and it basically subsidizes their cost internally, but it provides a new revenue stream for an empty building. That facility in Alabama has done incredibly well, and it's not the only example that happens in the country. This is a big repurposing of properties that have lost their original use, and I think that's an interesting thing for Bluff City to consider, what that may look like. Along that lines, I want to tell you about something that's going on in Big Stone Gap, Virginia. Big Stone Gap, not very far from here, and not very different from here, actually just received $250,000 as a grant from the Tobacco Commission to open a space much like this. They're focusing on co-working and how do they keep their talent there. The thing is that those kinds of funds, the ARC, which is part of what I work with, the Tobacco Commission, which we've done a lot in Sullivan County with over the last few years, they're looking for opportunities to get involved like this. TVA is another. In fact, I want to get you connected with some TVA folks. TVA is another that's looking to open and invest in co-working spaces, especially in rural environments, because of what's happening in Tennessee and because of the trends that are happening around the country. So as a potential project for this group to consider, there may be a way to look at that being an opportunity for Bluff City to repurpose some facilities. Another thing that this partnership with Launch Tennessee gives us the opportunity to do is it allows the partnership is important not only for the program that we're working with businesses, but it's a gateway to work with more programs the state of Tennessee provides. Specifically in education, which is one of our key focuses in our programs with businesses, the state actually has funding and training related to bring entrepreneurship into high schools. And they're currently developing programming for middle schools, which introduces the concepts of entrepreneurship, how you start a business, how you handle what goes along with that as a program that can be implemented into the high schools to allow students to look at entrepreneurship before they get to college. And the state has funds set aside to pay for it. And I think that's something that we ought to consider also bringing to Bluff City, because if we can get people introduced to entrepreneurship early and the concept of being able to own your own business, learn a skill, and then interact directly with manufacturing and other companies we have right here in our own county, then we provide them an alternate track to have them to leave for a four-year school or stay for a four-year school and leave after they get their education. All of these things are provided in the state of Tennessee, and I want to work closely with Herschel and other leadership in the county to help find those opportunities here for Bluff City and the rest of Sullivan County and the region. I know that's kind of a whirlwind explanation of everything, but I wanted to make sure at least be able to present that and answer any questions, and then I'd be willing to help you guys as we move forward as well to look at what this might affect Bluff City.
Sounds like a great plan if it can come to fruition.
Yeah, the state is already on board. We actually signed the contract last week with the state, so there is a lot of things that are moving, and I feel like we're in a good position to get started pretty soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Has he already met with the school board and stuff like that? Because that's who actually owns the building.
He came to our commission meeting last month and presented this program to us. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a great program. Yes. I think it'd be a great program for Bluff City and this area. And like you said, there's grant money available. It keeps people up to date on that and what it's available for. Mm-hmm. And I'm in support of it. And I think the rest of the commission will be too.
But ultimately, the school board is who owns the building, right?
Well, see, that's the thing too. Yeah. We're going to have to find out. The school board they could vote to auction it off. Right. They could vote to keep it. Yep. They could vote to turn it into a storage facility, something that they want.
Because that would be great for him to do that in front of the school board.
Yes.
At least have them to have something on the table.
But the middle school leaving Bluff City to me has just devastated us, and I would love to see something replaced in there that would help the citizens here in Bluff City, and plus give you guys some tax money in return and move you forward.
I believe David Harmon has a question, Matt.
Who actually owns it? I heard that the
school board owns it.
The school board actually owns that building?
Yes.
Same thing with this new school that just opened.
I understand it, but I thought there's something else involved in there. Maybe I misunderstood.
That's the elementary school with the Masons.
Yeah, but
That's the elementary school.
See,
sorry.
Weaver's Elementary was owned by the school board. And
Yeah,
they
I
sold
knew
it.
that. I knew that. I got it mixed up with the elementary school.
Yeah, because they're in with the Masonic Lodge, the elementary school is.
But I think it's a great idea, and that's something that we're going to work together with and hopefully move forward with.
Yeah, we definitely get in front of the school board like that, because have somebody there already wanting to use it.
Right. Well, we've been having these conversations for a while.
Yep.
You know,
Well, and that's the reason, you know, I'm here to represent you guys, and I wanted Heath to come tonight and present this to you because I'm going to vote the way you guys want me to vote, and that's what it's all about. And I'm in support of it. If you guys are in support of it, and the citizens, I think it's something that would, and even talking about the liquor by the drink in the stores and so forth, that's something that could be looked at too. So,
What would be our first step in obtaining that school building, though?
talk to the school board.
Yep.
Get a meeting set up with the school board, and all of us sit down and talk. And
I've already been talking to some of the school board
have you?
members.
Have they gave you any thoughts of what?
I mean, you know, it's a little early, so I think it's going to take up a little more time.
Well,
But you don't need it set and empty.
no, and that's the reason why I wanted Heath to present this to you tonight. We don't want that school to end up like Valley Pike. We don't want it turned into a meth making facility. We don't want the windows busted out of it. And the sooner we get someone in there, the better to be for the building and the better to be for the town. And you know, we're in a situation in the next couple of years in Sullivan County that we're going to have some revenue. The projections come back on the jail, and I'll touch base on this real quick. If we vote for this plan, there's 3 plans, and I'm in support of the plan, and I hope you guys are, of putting all the courts under one roof in Blumpville, moving the Bristol courts and the Kingsport courts to the Blumpville facility and put it all under one roof. And it's costing us anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 a week transporting prisoners from Blumpville to Bristol and Kingsport, and that's a lot of money that we could be putting in back in the general fund or back into the sheriff's department for other things. But the cost of putting it all under one roof was about $180 million. Is what it would be. And the mayor has got a trip set up to go down to Georgia, I think next week, to look at a jail with this same type of facility situation that we're talking about. It would be kind of like Washington County's facility, where you've got your justice center and your holding facility all on the same piece of property. So that's kind of what we're looking at, and we just got a lot of tough things to handle. But I love Bluff City. I love the people of Bluff City, and I want to, and Commissioner King does too, and the commission does, and the mayor. We all want to help, and I think this is a start.
I think so too, and I thank you because it will help bring growth. Because I mean, face it, the town is dying, and this will help revive.
I counted up with the money off your speed cameras and the money from the school. It's about $30,000 a month.
I believe Betsy Carrier has a question for you.
Yes.
Yes. I have a question. Over a year and a half ago, we were concerned about losing the middle school here, and Mr. Hurlbert, we were talking about what could be done with it. We went to see Mayor Venable, and he wasn't sure who owned the property, and so then we wanted to speak with the school board and never did get to talk to them. And they really need to have exit plans. This is something we need to push for these buildings that are being vacated. And Mr. Herbert has some ideas that maybe he would like to share with you.
I think she's putting me on the spot. My name's Jack Hurlbert, and yes, we did have those meetings. I've been keenly interested in.
Why don't you come up to the podium if you're going to speak?
I've been interested in buildings of this nature and specifically what they mean to the community. And I'm not looking at Bluff City as the extent of the scope. I'm looking at Sullivan County. I think this can be an asset to the county and be rooted in Bluff City. And with participants, as you've heard tonight, is excellent. The building is also got a lot of other assets that can be developed and preserved. Specifically, you've got a whole campus there that has athletic facilities, and I do believe that a boys club or a boys and girls club can actively get in there and take activity areas in that, and have also after-school activities. So we're try to take care of the youth that are coming up and be part of this with a good start of how to utilize this space. It'll serve as a magnet to bigger and better things. And just like I think the entrepreneurship just bleeds out and means a lot to our community. So that's the gist of our initial look at this, and I certainly encourage working with the school board, coming up with some type of management plan that includes other stakeholders into the building. I think it's a good campus there and can be a wonderful asset to both the town and to the county.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, what we'll do this week, I'll speak to Mayor Venable and see if we can't get a meeting set up with the school board where we can all sit down at a table and discuss this and see where we do stand with that school.
That's where he needs to be.
And we'll bring Heath around and let him speak to him. And if there's any other questions or any on the liquor by the drink, like I said, we're going to do everything we can to get that through. Sounds pretty good. I've talked to some of the other commissioners, and they're in support of it. We're losing so much money to the state of Virginia on this, and we're losing a lot of money to Washington County on this. And I'd rather see that stay in Sullivan County, and by using it to give the teachers the raises and bringing them up to the city level with this revenue would be a great start. And thank you, guys. I appreciate you letting me speak. Appreciate you being patient with us. And
thank you.
Please come Thursday night. I would love to see you guys be there. Like I said, Jeff, thank you for coming. Right, Carol, Eric, and the rest of you guys, all of you. Please come.
I watch it online. I always have to work, but I watch it online and stuff.
But thank you. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Over down to old business. Do y'all have any old business?
Is the 3-minute thing under old business or new business?
Mm-hmm. It can be under old business.
What, the old business?
Mr. Fry. Mr. Fry, they would like to talk about the 3 minutes.
I can't hear you.
We'll talk about the 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Who's going? I know Jeff had mentioned something about
Mayor,
it.
request to be recognized.
Yes, you can.
Members of the board, citizens, we've been in discussion about citizen comments and how we conduct our meetings. And, as of last meeting, we actually pulled the ordinance that currently resides to take a better and closer look to make sure that we're giving everybody ample opportunity to be able to speak their mind, but at the same time maintaining order and the progress of the meeting. And, you know, in looking at it, I spent some time looking at it today and thinking about it. It is my recommendation personally, and I'll air this to the board, that we should consider only one portion of citizen comments and let it be at the front of the meeting. But I would recommend that we extend that to 6 minutes opposed to 3. Now, we do have a chairperson of the board, And by her will and pleasure, as you saw tonight, she can call those to speak as she sees fit, or if we need to have more feedback. So another portion of this that I noticed that I personally think should be stricken is that the city recorder shall serve as the official timekeeper. I'm not certain that's what we should do as a board. That would be our decision, and that would be at the will and pleasure of the mayor, and of course for the workload of the city recorder. We currently do not do business that way, and it works just fine. So that's my personal recommendation to the board on after reading this ordinance, and I'm open to your comments and suggestions as well.
Does anybody else want to say something on this?
How is it, Herschel, how is it done at the county level?
At our county commission meeting, when you come in at the beginning of the meeting, you sign a sign-in sheet, and you are recognized at the start of the meeting, and you're given 3 minutes to speak.
At one time?
Yes.
Thank you.
A lot of times the mayor is lenient, like Mayor Wells, to toward the end of the meeting, if it's something that's
necessary
and been pretty important to start, he'll recognize. We'll go out of session and he'll recognize, but it's usually the start of the meeting. It's 3 minutes.
Thank you.
What do you do if they need more time?
That's what I was going to say.
You usually sign up and come back next month. He's pretty good about working with the 3-minute rule. Usually he goes to about 5 minutes. He's pretty good about working with the public on that because he knows how their comments is taken very seriously with all of us, and it's usually about 5 minutes.
Well, I have something. Citizens' concerns, they're very important. And like you said, what if they need more time? And it's something that really need to be discussed. Is there something that could be done about that? Can they set up a meeting with somebody or what? Because, I don't want them to come here and have a comment or something and they don't get answers. Why waste your time coming if you can't get your answer? So my concern is the citizens getting answers to their questions.
My thing is, it depends on what you need an answer to, and if it's something that we need to go and get more information in order to answer your question, we'll be happy to do that. But do you have anything that you want to say about the 3 minutes or 6 minutes?
I think we need to. I think we need to extend it, just like the gentleman last month.
Right.
I mean, cutting him off in mid-sentence, I don't think that's right.
Right.
I agree.
And I think Brian might have got cut off too, didn't you?
Yep.
I think I was giving a little grace.
Yeah.
Was you at the end?
Give a lot of grace.
But
Give a lot of grief, give a lot of grace.
I mean, I would
That's
maybe
the reason
do
why.
the 5 minutes.
Right.
And
Because I think it'd be good if we done a combination of the counties and ours and do like a 5 minutes at the beginning, but at the same time have a sign-up sheet and that where it'd be more orderly and that the mayor could introduce each one of them and go down the list, and that way that we don't have to raise your hands and all that stuff. You've written them down, you've got their name and stuff, and we can read it off up here and do a little bit of, take a little bit from that and 5 minutes instead of 3 minutes.
so how would we do it, though, if they have a question about something we're talking about?
Once you go into the business session,
Be at the pleasure.
They can ask questions.
It could be at the pleasure of the mayor, I guess, if it's something deemed.
Right.
Yeah, because there's always discussion on ordinances and, open to public forum and all that stuff.
Herschel, once y'all go into the business session, do you interrupt to let the people interrupt you?
And what I was going to say, 5 minutes to start, 5 minutes to end.
On the sign-up sheet, when the mayor recognizes, a couple of years ago, a year ago, when we were working with the animal shelter, we always had 15, 20 people come up, talking about the animal shelter. So what he would do, he would ask them, are you guys all here with the animal shelter? And he would ask one particular person to speak for 6 or 8 of those members. And that moved things around along, quicker also. But usually after the public comment, when we go into session, he don't recognize any more public comment until the next meeting or toward the end if we have a question for the sheriff or a highway commissioner or a particular question like that is how he handles it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, on the sign-up sheet, you put your name and address.
Right.
And then when you take, he recognizes you when you come to the podium, you repeat your name, address, and you don't really have to put down what you're going to speak about, but he'll just give you the time to do that.
I think that request to be recognized again. I think we should mimic that. I mean, I've saw it successfully not only at our county, but at other counties as well. And something else. If citizens have a desire to submit something in writing for us to review during their comments, as long as they're legal, it's authorized. So I know if I were going to speak before the county commission, I would have something in writing to present, and that might help as well. And we can always offer that. But in thinking about it, I've heard 5 minutes twice. I think 5 minutes is adequate. I mean, you can brief a point easily in 5 minutes.
Well, can we have a motion to approve it that way?
I got a question for you. Y'all discussed it. I got a question.
Okay.
But the purpose of having 3 minutes before so the citizen can come up and tell you his complaint, his or her complaint.
Yes.
And while the meeting's going on, y'all cipher it, go through it and everything. And then at the end of the meeting, you have the other 3 minutes so they can ask you why you didn't address their problem. If you just have it one time, you don't know their problem till at the end of the meeting. They have to wait 30 days. This man didn't want to wait 30 days for his problem to be solved. Right. And I believe that's the purpose of the 3 minutes before and the 3 minutes after. So you're doing away with, if you do 5 minutes at the end, you're doing away with the whole purpose of the citizen comments, so they'll know what they're thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a motion.
I make a motion that we amend ordinance
They really listen, don't they?
96003.
Okay, we need.
How do you want it worded?
To be worded as such that there be one section of citizen comments, and that is line 2, and it shall last for 5 minutes. And that after line 2, in section C, that the words, the city recorder shall serve as the official timekeeper, be stricken from the ordinance.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Now that can be changed, it's just not in stone because you can always go in there and change it. Isn't that correct?
Mayor, I got something I'd like to say too. I like the end, guys. If David's got something to say, or we bring something up here during the meeting, and he got a question about it, and can't ask it till next month. No, I like it at the first, a little bit first, a little bit to last myself.
What was that, Alderman Bolin? I didn't hear him.
He wants to leave it alone, basically.
I like sometime at the first and the last, like we have it now.
I agree.
Maybe extend the first one to another minute or so, or the last one another minute or so.
I agree.
If it's all right, I'm going to ask Herschel to explain how that goes one more time at the county, because the way they do it at the county, if I'm correct, you sign in. You're recognized at the beginning of the meeting.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then also at the end, there is time for citizens' comments. There's not.
No, there's not.
It's
one
commission
time.
comments. We go out of session. The only change on it is if we have a lot of zoning, and say a lot of people comes in for rezoning or applies for rezoning, if you sign in, he'll ask you, are you here for zoning or are you here for comment? And then if you're not for zoning, he'll ask you to come up and you speak. But it's at the first of the meeting.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Do you want to vote for it?
I agree with Alderman Bolin myself.
Who seconded it? I will. I'll second it, and we'll vote it and see how it plays and go from there.
Are we doing it at the first?
This is Jeff's motion was to have it 5 minutes at the first section, and then have the city recorder portion of it stricken as far as the timekeeper, because we're able to do it as it is right now. But that's his motion.
Vice Mayor,
So
can I
you
say
can
something?
take a vote on it?
Well, let's take this vote right here, and if it fails, we'll go from there. Yeah,
Jeff made the motion. Vice Mayor,
yeah. We'll vote and see how it goes.
Alderwoman Keith,
No.
Alderman Boyles,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington,
Yes.
Alderman Ward,
Do something.
Welcome to my first meeting.
Yeah.
Alderman Bowling.
No.
Okay, it passes. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to new business. Do any of you have any new business?
Or do we have any old business anymore?
New
I had
business.
that on
You say new
old
business?
business.
Okay.
Is this old business?
Yeah, what we just had was under old business. Do you have anything else?
Old business?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my old business is, I'm very concerned about the Moors, which had been still experiencing raw sewage in their yard. I'm very concerned about the engineer and here paying all this money and the problem still isn't fixed. I think that, as I stated before, having a workshop meeting, I think Alan is very knowledgeable. I think he could save us a lot of money if we sit down, take the time and sit down and try to work together. So I'm very concerned about that. And then y'all have already passed it about the 3 minutes, which I do not agree with because I think people should be able to speak afterwards. But then I'm only one vote. But I will continue to stand up, speak up, and speak out. for what
Thank
is
you.
right. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody have any other old business they'd like to discuss? I would like to mention that we had the water tank inspected, and we have some problem areas that we will have to take care of. And when we have the workshop, we'll just discuss some of those things in the workshop. And Alan has already been working on some things that him and the employees can take care of. And as soon as we get it organized, then we'll call a workshop. And there's some other things that we need to take care of. But the things that we've mentioned about the water and sewer and the water plant, the water tank inspection, we can take care of that in the workshop. And, so we'll get back with you on that. Then under new business, does anybody have any new business?
Flow meters.
Flow meters.
We need to look at getting prices for
Yeah,
those.
I have that.
Good.
So, because he brought that up then. Okay.
Can we rent them? I don't know if they're reusable
We just
or
have
what,
to
or
check
how they.
into the prices and everything.
Because that might be, because we can move them from place to place and might be cheaper.
Okay. Is there anything else that the board members would like to bring up or anything?
Well, if we go with this thing with the liquor by the drink, Paul Fry, would it be possible to get it on the ballot in August?
No, it'd be November ballot.
November, but we
Yeah.
could do it that close?
Mhm.
Okay, great. That's good to get it in the year.
Mr. Fry, on the beer, can the board members vote on the beer to go ahead and put that into effect?
As soon as I draw up the ordinance.
Okay, y'all want that ordinance gone up then?
Definitely.
Yeah, they've already said they do.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll move down to citizens' comments, the second session. And when will the new one go into effect for the 5 minutes?
When the ordinance is amended.
Okay. Okay, so, I'm sorry.
Good evening.
I looked around for just one more. Thank you.
My name's Marion Bott. I live on 237 Duty Drive. Phone number is 482-5545. I have a problem. I live on Duty Drive. But once you go over Jonesboro Drive, I don't know where these trash people are, but as soon as you cross over the railroad, there's trash. Just poured. Everybody just throws it out the car or something. I don't know what it is. But me and my grandchildren, we pick it up. If Bluff City does it, we pick it up often. I bring a trash bag down. Next day, it's there again. And I was wondering if we could put up a sign, a litter sign, some kind of litter sign. And also, Duty Drive, I have 2 grandchildren I'm raising. There used to be a speed bump right across from my house. And the water washed it away with the storm. And it's still in the forest, half of it. I'd like to know if they could put another one there. And that was it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay. Who's next?
I'm going to hand this to Richard, let him pass that down. All y'all can take a look at it. If you want to take a drink of it, take a drink of it. It's your water.
Well, thank you. Is that a filter
That's a filter that was put in place.
that filtered this water?
Yeah.
Is that the one that blew off, filled up right after you put it on?
Yeah, that was installed on November the 4th and was taken off about 5:30 this afternoon. That's supposed to be a 6-month filter.
And that water right there was running through that filter.
Yep. That's new water lines from the meter all the way into the house, 3/4 inch PEX pipe going into that filtration system.
Looks a lot.
Did you call? Did you call? The lady that sold our water.
Tina.
The last time she said that, did y'all exchange numbers and stuff?
Yeah, she made contact with Bethany, but she never made it down. And then she called back saying that she had been out sick, but she wanted to check and see if she would be able to come down.
Is it dirty?
She has been sick.
Yeah, that's what she said. Alan, if you want to take possession of that and give that to Tina and let her look at that. But I just want to voice my opinion on a couple things. You got this school building up here everybody keeps talking about. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but that don't need to be something a church buys and uses as, any kind of non-profit organization. Use that thing to generate some tax. That could be your biggest tax generator in this city.
Definitely.
Now, what this gentleman here is proposing, one of my customers, their sons just put one of those same businesses into effect in Bristol on the Parkway. It's called the Summit. You may be familiar with it. I've went and viewed it. It's very nice. And, that's just with a very small building compared to the school. So,
What kind of business is it?
He took right behind Eastman Credit Union on the Volunteer Parkway.
Yeah.
He took part of the old Executive Park and turned it into what's called the Summit now. And it's divided up into office spaces, workspaces. It's got internet, you got your big screens, all that stuff. And people go in there and they rent spaces out and they use it for meetings. Businesses coming in from out of town, they stop in there and have meetings, so forth and so on. But that school could be used for a lot.
Yep.
You could do that on one floor, have a trade school on the other floor. I'm just glad I still had a second session I could speak at.
Yeah.
But
you didn't get up the first.
Huh?
You didn't get up in the first, though.
I wasn't here on time.
Right.
So that's why we need to keep a second.
Right.
But one other thing, I know I went over my 3 minutes. It's going to take more than liquor by the drink to get us to where Bristol, Kingsport, and Johnson City is.
Definitely.
And I'm going to tell you what that one other major thing is that's separating us from them. They've got a city manager. Okay? You got to put somebody in here that's got the connections, the know-how to bring the businesses in, run the town like a business, not as how you want it. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Be free. Drink all that water you want.
Julie McCarty, 209 Smith Street, Extension 538-7931. I just want to say I'm disappointed that you took the second section of comments at the end, because sometimes if you get here late, you don't know what's going to be said, so you can't be prepared. And then either way, things come up that you might want to ask, but you don't want to wait for a month. And I just think if it's going to just be one, at least if it's at the end of the meeting, we know everything that was said, and then everybody could get in. But I really think we still need to have two.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else have a comment? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Just a minute, Mayor. If I could say something, I totally agree with you, and I'm sorry. And I am here to serve the people, not to sit up here and serve myself. Okay? And I do apologize that has happened.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Take a vote, please.
Alderwoman Key,
Yes, I'm sorry.
Alderman Ward.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington.
Yes.
Alderman Ward.
Yes.
Alderman Lowe.
Yes.